If I told you that the happiest country in the world is also the place where people speak the least, smile the least out of politeness, and where the sun nearly disappears for months at a time, would you believe it? There is no upbeat music here, no crowded streets, no moments designed to impress, only snow-covered forests, long stretches of silence, and warm yellow lights glowing from small windows during endless winter days. Finland is not happy in the way social media describes happiness. Here, happiness is not loud, it is not performative, it does not require constant expression or approval. Instead, it exists quietly within a stable way of life, one that does not demand people prove their worth every single day. That is why many arrive in Finland out of curiosity, but stay for a reason they struggle to explain. This video is not about paradise. It is about a place where life does not exhaust you, and sometimes that is more than enough. 1. Finland. What kind of country is it? Finland sits in northern Europe, quietly bordering Russia, far from the political noise and cultural urgency that define much of the modern world. It is not a large country by population, only about 5.6 million people. Yet, it stretches across a vast landmass larger than Vietnam, with far fewer humans occupying it. This is a country where space is not a luxury. It is the default. More than 75% of Finland is covered by forests, and scattered across that green expanse are over 180,000 lakes. Water and trees are not scenery here. They are structure. They shape how people move, how they think, and how they live. Cities are small and restrained. Nature is never far away. You can leave the capital and within minutes find yourself surrounded by silence, by trees that seem older than language, by air that feels untouched. Finland does not compress people together. It gives them room. Historically, this land has never been gentle. Long winters, limited sunlight, harsh conditions that demanded patience rather than ambition. And instead of trying to conquer that reality, Finland adapted to it. Slowly, carefully, intentionally. Everything here feels designed with endurance in mind: the architecture, the education system, the social structure, even the rhythm of daily life. Finland was not built to impress outsiders. It was built to protect those who live within it. This is not a country created for spectacle speed or excess. It is a country shaped for long winters, long lives, and long stretches of quiet persistence. Finland is not designed for performance. It is designed for human sustainability. 2. Happiness in Finland is not an emotion. For years, Finland has ranked #1 in the World Happiness Report. The headline sounds almost ironic to anyone who has been here, because this is not a country that looks joyful on the surface. People are reserved. Smiles are rare. Excitement is muted. And yet Finland keeps returning to the top. The reason is simple and deeply misunderstood. Finland is not ranked happiest because people feel happy all the time. It is ranked happiest because people feel safe most of the time. Here, happiness is not measured by excitement or pleasure. It is measured by the absence of constant worry, the absence of instability, the absence of fear about what tomorrow might bring. Most people earn a steady income, not extravagant, but predictable. You know what your rent will be next year. You know healthcare will be there if you need it. You know losing a job does not mean losing your dignity or your future overnight. That certainty changes how the mind rests. There is also far less comparison, fewer status symbols, less pressure to perform success in public. People do not live under the weight of needing to appear impressive, productive, or extraordinary. You are allowed to be ordinary here, and that is not seen as failure. The system itself carries much of the burden that individuals elsewhere are forced to carry alone. Education, healthcare, social support. They do not eliminate struggle, but they prevent collapse. life can still be hard, but it rarely becomes terrifying. This is why happiness in Finland feels quiet. It does not surge. It settles. It lives in the background, steady and unremarkable, like a low, constant warmth. Here, happiness is not a feeling you chase. It is what remains when anxiety slowly lets go. 3. Helsinki, the capital of restraint. Helsinki does not welcome you with spectacle. There is no rush, no constant noise, and no need to impress. The city exists in a different state, slow, quiet, and carefully spaced, so people never feel overwhelmed. Mornings in Helsinki begin gently. Small cafes open under dim light, warm yellow lamps falling softly onto simple wooden tables. The space is quiet enough to hear a spoon touch a ceramic cup. Few conversations rise above a murmur. No one rushes to fill the silence. And you rarely see laptops opened as symbols of productivity or importance. People come to cafes here not to work harder, but to sit still, to look out the window, to think, or sometimes to think of nothing at all. Helsinki does not ask you to be faster, louder, or more impressive than the person beside you. The streets are wide and clean, but never flashy. Architecture is restrained colors, muted everything designed to avoid demanding your attention. This is a city that does not try to keep you. It does not persuade or perform. But there is something rare about it. If you arrive tired, Helsinki does not push you away. It gives you space to slow down. It allows silence. And it quietly reminds you that for this moment, you do not need to be anything other than yourself. 4. Finnish architecture designed for people, not for image. Architecture in Finland does not try to make you look up. It does not seek to impress display power or serve as a backdrop for photographs. Instead, it quietly focuses on something else, making people feel comfortable living inside it. This philosophy is closely tied to the work of Alvar Aalto, the architect who shaped how Finland thinks about space. For Aalto, architecture was never art meant to be admired from a distance. It was something you touched every day, a step, a handrail, the way morning light falls across a wooden floor. Every line was designed to serve human feeling, not visual spectacle. Minimalism in Finland is not cold. It is warm. Woodstone and natural light are treated as living materials. Light is not forced into a space. It is guided, gently shifting with the seasons and the hours of the day. As a result, rooms do not dictate emotion. They allow people to settle into their own rhythm. Compared to Italy, Finnish architecture is not ornate where every building competes to tell a grand story. Compared to France, it is not monumental where beauty often announces itself loudly. Finland chooses a quieter path, more restrained, more silent, yet strangely easy to live with. Here you do not feel small beneath towering walls. You feel considered. And that is the core philosophy of Finnish architecture, not built to be seen, but built so people can remain. 5. Finnish women. The beauty of self-possession. Finnish women do not enter public spaces to be noticed. They do not rely on external validation compliments or the pressure to prove their worth through appearance. Here, beauty is not a performance. It is the natural result of self-possession. You notice it immediately on the streets. Minimal makeup, simple clothing, no excess, no display. Yet beneath that simplicity is something unmistakable, a quiet certainty. They know who they are, and they feel no need to explain it. Confidence in Finland is not loud. It is steady and deeply rooted. Finland consistently ranks among the countries with the highest levels of gender equality in the world, and this is not merely symbolic. Women participate fully across society in science, education, business, and politics. In fact, Finland was one of the first nations to grant women both the right to vote and to run for office in the early 20th century. Female leadership here is not an exception. It is normal. In everyday life, that equality is visible. Women are not expected to soften themselves to sacrifice more or to perform roles designed to please others. They are allowed to live at their own pace on their own terms without being labeled or judged. And that may be the most important distinction of all. In Finland, women do not need to be seen to feel valued. They need to be respected as whole, independent, and free individuals. 6. Real life and cost of living. When it comes to Finland, one truth needs to be stated clearly. From the beginning, this is not a cheap country, but there is another truth that matters just as much. It is a place where unexpected expenses are rare. In Helsinki, living a minimalist lifestyle typically costs between $1,600 and $2,000 per month for one person. This includes modest housing, basic groceries, public transportation, and everyday necessities. It is not luxurious, but it is stable. A life where you are not forced to calculate every decision under pressure. In smaller cities or suburban areas, costs drop noticeably to around $1,200 to $1,400 per month. Life moves more slowly, space opens up, and nature is closer. You trade variety and convenience for calm, and for many, that exchange feels worth it. Average incomes in Finland are among the higher levels in Europe. People are not wealthy in a flashy sense, but they earn enough to live with dignity. Taxes are high, that is undeniable, but those taxes do not disappear into abstraction. They return in very tangible ways. Public health care is guaranteed. Education is nearly free at all levels. Social security is strong enough that a setback does not become a collapse. You do not need to spend your entire life saving out of fear of illness or a short period of unemployment. And this is the core point. Finland is not cheap, but its costs are transparent and predictable. You know where your money goes. You know what you receive in return. And more importantly, you know that life will not suddenly turn against you overnight. Here, higher costs are not driven by risk. They are the price of a system designed to keep people from living in constant anxiety. And for many, that is the most valuable thing of all. 7. The culture of silence and the uncomfortable truths. There is something deeply Finnish that you notice almost immediately. Silence is not considered awkward. Here, no one feels the need to fill empty space with polite conversation. There is no small talk, no forced friendliness, and no pressure to perform social warmth in order to belong. In Finland, silence is a form of respect. It means you are allowed to sit with your thoughts. You are not expected to explain your mood or engage in conversation before you are ready. For locals, this is deeply comfortable. For outsiders, it can be disorienting. Because the truth is, Finland is not easy to integrate into. If you come from cultures built on constant interaction and spontaneous connection, loneliness can surface quickly, especially in the early months. People are kind but reserved. They do not open up easily. Friendships, when they form, take time. Winter amplifies this reality. Days grow short. Nights stretch long. In the northern regions, daylight can nearly disappear for weeks. Not everyone adapts well to that rhythm. Seasonal affective disorder is real here, openly acknowledged and seriously addressed. Finland does not hide these realities. It does not romanticize them. Life here is not always balanced or gentle. The support systems are strong, but emotional resilience is still required. And this is where Finland demands honesty from you. Can you live with silence? Can you endure long stretches without social stimulation? If the answer is no, Finland may not be for you. But if you can accept those quiet spaces, you may begin to understand why so many people, despite the difficulty, choose to stay. 8. Nature and sauna. where Finns simply exist. In Finland, nature is not an escape from life, it is the default setting of life itself. Forests cover most of the land. Lakes appear everywhere, quiet and deep, like natural pauses woven into human rhythm. You do not have to travel far to reach nature. It is always close, always present. But if there is one symbol that captures this relationship best, it is the sauna. With more than 3 million saunas in a country of just over 5 million people, sauna is not a luxury. It is culture, habit, a place of return. In Finland, sauna is not about relaxation. It is a spiritual ritual. Inside everything is stripped away not only clothing, but social roles, pressure, and daily defenses. There is no status, no hierarchy, only heat breath and silence. People do not talk much in the sauna. They sit. They endure the heat. Then they step outside, sometimes into snow, as a reminder that the body and the mind are still alive, still capable of feeling the world. Nature and sauna do not help Finns escape reality. They help them remain within it. And perhaps in those quiet elemental moments, Finns find a way to endure long winters and the difficult silences of life. 9. Is Finland right for you? Finland does not try to be a place for everyone. It does not invite, it does not advertise, and it does not adjust itself to satisfy the familiar needs of the modern world. If you need to be seen every day, if you rely on praise, validation, and constant feedback to feel that your life has value, if you crave noise, endless conversation, and stimulation to escape inner emptiness, Finland is not for you. Here, no one asks what you do. No one pushes you to move faster. No one measures your worth by visibility or performance. Life continues whether you are impressive or not. But if you are looking for a place that does not demand strength from you every single day, a place where slowing down does not mean falling behind a system that does not abandon you when you are tired, vulnerable, or in need of recovery, a life where you do not have to play the main character in someone else's story, Finland may stay with you for a very long time, not because it excites you, but because it gives you something far rarer, the permission to exist without proving anything. Finland does not promise loud happiness. It offers enough quiet for you to ask yourself one honest question: can you live with this silence? Comment yes or no. No explanations needed. Just be honest with yourself.